In Guatemala, we learned that a vital piece to our success was creating partnerships with established members of the local community. In our new ventures to India, our partners are Michelle Pandian, an RWC SIFE alum, and her husband John, a successful businessman in India. Together, the Pandians will use their business knowledge and their concern for others to meet social needs of impoverished children and young women.
To help teach the poor women a basic skill that would enable them to find a job and build a better life in the village, the Pandians established the Lydia Tailoring School. Sharing in this vision, our SIFE team purchased 9 sewing machines for the school. The Pandians have multiplied our congregants and now have 4 training centers with 18 sewing machines, serving 120 women.
In 2004, a devastating tsunami left thousands of children orphaned in India. As a response to this crisis, the Pandians established the Miracle Garden Orphanage. And in the years that followed, John and Michelle expanded by welcoming in additional local children in need of a home. Our SIFE team is helping the Pandians in their pursuit to care for these children by funding the housing, food, and educational costs for 4 of these orphans.
This summer, the Pandians visited us in Rochester and approached us with the idea of starting a social business to sustain their orphanage. Life in India is divided by a rigid caste system, which limits a child's access to school, as illustrated by UNICEF's shocking study. The Pandians were distraught when they learned that the orphans were being threatened and beat up in the hallways, right outside their classroom doors.
John and Michelle realized the need for a safer learning location and set out to provide an alternative to the hostile educational environment. As a result, they plan to open a private school where children could attend regardless of name or caste. At RWC SIFE, we thought this was a great entrepreneurial approach to a critical social problem.
This year, the Pandians' dream became a reality, and an elementary school was launched with 280 students. The orphans now have a safe place to receive a quality education. English instruction is highly valued by local families, but often too expensive to obtain. The Miracle Garden Matriculation School offers this high-demand English instruction for 75% less than comparable private schools. As a result, local families are beginning to send their children to study alongside the orphans, helping to reduce the orphan's social stigma. The profits from tuition go towards offsetting the operating costs of the orphanage. This unique approach provides a solution to both social and economic problems through entrepreneurship.
RWC SIFE continues to apply the skills that we've gained through our successful project in Guatemala. We are currently consulting with the Pandians to expand beyond elementary and into secondary vocational school. We've also researched additional business opportunities to help meet the needs of the poor in TT Poly. We've discovered that 27% of India's total foreign exchange and 17% of India's total industrial production comes through the textile industry. We recommend that the Pandians establish a textile manufacturing business to help provide employment for graduates of the Lydia Tailoring School.
This June, our SIFE team will travel to TT Poly of India to see firsthand the Miracle Garden Orphanage and the elementary school. We will work with John and Michelle to establish their secondary school and the manufacturing business. We will look into potential building sites and visit community stakeholders.
In addition, we will be offering business plans that have been written by our own SIFE students based on the economic climate, manufacturing market, and local needs for this area. We will also sit down and meet with textile manufacturing companies in Coimbatore to understand the best business practices for this area, and then to take these successful ideas and implement them into a new business.
Our work in India goes above and beyond the 9,000 miles that separate us. However, we have not lost sight of the needs in our own neighborhood. This year, RWC SIFE focused our efforts 15 miles down the road to the poverty-stricken 14621 community.
Rochester's 14621 zip code is located just 15 minutes away from Roberts Wesleyan College. Despite this close distance, 14621 is vastly different from our college town. Within the city of Rochester, 14621 has the lowest median income at a mere $22,000 per year. The average is at an even lower $10,000 for African Americans and only $8,500 for Hispanics.
The graduation rate for this troubled area is only 42%. 14621 also holds the largest number of refugees, as well as the highest crime rate in the city of Rochester. A recent nationwide study marks 14621 as one of the top 10 worst zip codes in the country for child poverty.
We were first introduced to the needs of this area through Roberts alum Arlene Sutherland. After consulting with SIFE students from RWC, Arlene opened her own high-fashion boutique, The Black Pearl, in 14621. With 98% of her clientele emerging from Facebook, customers love Arlene's fashion, but face being harassed by drug dealers and gang members right outside her store. In order for her business to succeed, Arlene knew she had to change locations.
Since opening her new storefront, Arlene has been hired to design for the prestigious Saks Fifth Avenue. Before we began working with Arlene, her annual income was $8,000. Since then, it has steadily increased to over $35,000.
Just did a photo shoot for Saks Fifth Avenue. And I got an email to my BlackBerry, and I looked at it, and I'm like, okay. I think I looked at the phone like probably 50 times before I replied. This is real. Yeah, I'm like, okay. I would never be where I'm at today without Robert's husband.
After collaborating with Arlene and helping her launch her new store, RWC SIFE sought to empower yet another business in the 14621 neighborhood.
Keenan's Restaurant was established in 1995 and is located in 14621. When first approached by our SIFE team with the Sam's Club Environmental Challenge, co-owner Sue Rowe was totally committed to the idea. She not only cared about her needy neighbors, but also about the environmental impact of her business.
We were fortunate to receive a $1,000 grant from Sam's Club to help Sue make critical changes to Keenan's environmental practices. After evaluating Keenan's energy and waste needs, we agreed to replace each of their 136 light bulbs with new, energy-efficient CFL lighting. These new bulbs will save Keenan's an estimated $4,800 annually in energy costs.
We also replaced many of the makeshift cardboard ceiling tiles in their kitchen with insulated tiles to cut down on wasted energy. Inspired by our team's commitment to go green business practices, Keenan's matched our investment and pitched in their own money to become even more environmentally sustainable.
The most significant investment made by Sue and her co-owner was that of a power corrector. According to Rochester Gas and Electric, Keenan incurs $37,000 a year in energy costs. Due to the installation of the power corrector alone, these costs were reduced by 46%. That's an annual savings of over $17,000.
With a wealth of improvements in place, our SIFE team hosted a grand green reopening in partnership with our local Sam's Club. The 14621 community was informed and encouraged by Keenan's new green business practices. And this reopening served as a motivator for others to follow their lead.
Since we've gotten involved, Sue's monthly electric bills have gone from $116 to $84, and her monthly energy bills from $421 to $188. Thanks to RWC SIFE, Keenan's is now a shining example of an environmentally friendly business.
With an average annual income of a mere $8,500, our SIFE team directed our help to the Hispanic community in 14621 through the CASH program. CASH stands for Creating Assets, Savings, and Hope. Our SIFE team has been operating a CASH site on our own campus for the past 4 years. We offer free tax preparation and financial literacy training to low-income families throughout the entire tax season. This year, we've multiplied those efforts by helping the local Ibero Center open their very own CASH site.
We recruited a site coordinator and front desk manager from the Ibero Children's Center, where the CASH site would be held. We also provided our own SIFE students to serve alongside the Ibero volunteers to get the site running and operating successfully. So far this year, we've prepared 168 returns on our own campus and another 62 returns at the Ibero